The State Board of Education holds off on getting the courts involved in a dispute over lawmakers in executive sessions. We'll have an update on the new Mpox public health emergency and what it means for Oklahoma. And a new FCC alert aims to help locate missing Indigenous adults. We'll have details on the KGOU AM News Brief for Friday, August 23rd. I'm Nick Daniels. The Oklahoma Attorney General and the State Board of Education are at odds over allowing lawmakers into executive sessions. And as State Impact's Beth Wallace reports, the board skipped the executive session at its meeting Thursday and discussed the prospect of getting the courts involved.
Wednesday, Attorney General Gentner Drummond issued an opinion directing the board to allow lawmakers into executive sessions. At Thursday's meeting, the board took the unusual move of voting on agenda items that are usually first discussed in executive session. Also on the agenda was a decision to take Drummond's opinion to court. The board held off on taking action, saying it needed more time to digest the opinion. Member Sarah Lepak says she wants lawmakers to revisit the existing statute.
I would encourage the legislature to take a look at the opinion and think about when the shoe is on the other foot and your particular political interests may be aligned or different than whatever it is you perceive is going on, whether this is an opinion that is something you guys want to live with or not.
Drummond responded in a statement saying while the board may not like the law, they must still follow it. For State Impact, I'm Beth Wallace.
The World Health Organization declares a different type of Mpox that has broken out in Africa is a public health emergency of international concern. State Impact's Jillian Taylor has more on what Oklahomans need to know.
Mpox is a rare illness that causes rashes, chills, swollen lymph nodes, and fevers. It usually occurs in Central and Western Africa in animals like monkeys, squirrels, and rats. The disease mainly spreads between people through close contact and can occasionally spread by surfaces people with Mpox have touched. Oklahoma reported 69 cases during a multi-country outbreak in 2022. There have been 11 cases reported this year, although the CDC has reported no cases of the different strain in the U.S. The type of emergency declared by the World Health Organization is a response to diseases with a risk of cross-border spread that could require international coordination to prevent. For State Impact, I'm Jillian Taylor.
Oklahoma City now has $2.2 million in federal funds to study fixes for more than a dozen aging bridges over creeks and rivers. OPMX's Grayson Wheeler has details.
6 of the bridges are on the west side of town, where they cross Deep Fork Creek, the North Canadian River, or one of the North Canadian's tributaries. OKC Public Works Director Debbie Miller says those bridges are crucial for the area's large-scale manufacturing. The other set of bridges spans Lightning Creek on the city's southwest side. Miller says this provides an opportunity to design bridges that catch trash and debris before the waterway carries it into the North Canadian. The money will allow the city to plan restorations or replacements before the bridges age into disrepair. It's coming from the U.S. Department of Transportation as part of the bipartisan infrastructure law. Last month, the state received a separate $142 million federal grant to replace the Roosevelt Memorial Bridge that stretches over Lake Texoma in southern Oklahoma, after receiving a planning grant in 2022. In Oklahoma City, I'm Grayson Wheeler.
You can see a map of the bridge projects at our website, kgou.org. A new alert could soon be sounding off on your smartphone. OPMX's Sarah Lisi reports on a new FCC effort to help authorities find missing Indigenous people in Oklahoma.
Earlier this summer, many tribal nations in Oklahoma and around the country supported a new Federal Communications Commission alert that could aid in the Missing Murdered Indigenous Peoples Crisis, or MMIP. The alert's goal? Help find missing adults in the U.S. by issuing notifications via cell phones, radios, and TVs. This month, the FCC unanimously approved the MEP alert, which could be a critical tool for Indian country, as research from the FBI shows more than 3,000 Native American adults went missing last year. The FCC alerts are similar to the state's recently implemented KC alerts that went into effect last November. In Oklahoma City, I'm Sarah Lisi.
You'll find more news at our website, kgou.org. We also invite you to follow the KGOU PM News Brief podcast.
New from the Embedded podcast. Female athletes have always needed grit and talent. But for decades, they've also needed a certificate.
There was chit-chat about, is that really a woman?
And even now, they're still being checked and questioned. Their story is the newest series from CBC and NPR's Embedded. It's called Tested. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.